Well, several families whose children died or were injured in last year's mass shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, are suing the Broward County School Board now, claiming negligence and other wrongdoing as they face a string of political and bureaucratic red tape. The father of one of those students who died in Parkland, that father, Manuel Oliver, with us, his son was Joaquin. Also, an attorney who is representing 3 Parkland families, Christopher Marlowe, is with us. Gentlemen, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Manuel, I wanted to come to you first. What do you need to see from this school district moving forward?
They need to be responsible for what happened. There's consequences after what happened in Parkland, and I'm paying a high price along with my wife and my daughter. And they need to pay. They will never pay the same price that I'm paying, but they need to be accountable and they need to be responsible. They failed. Joaquin is not here anymore. They made a mistake, and now it's time for them to understand that that mistake is going to have a consequence.
What specifically do you want to see change there? What do you think they did wrong?
Well, there was a lot of warnings and red flags behind the shooter of my son, and apparently they ignored them. Not once, but several times. That is already a huge mistake. And then after the events, they have been ignoring actually the real problem. In some way, they have treated us in other words, they want to pass the page and pretend that nothing happened, and we don't accept that, and it's not. This game is not going to be played that way.
Christopher, how much power do parents have to affect change here?
All the power in the world. Manny couldn't have said it better when he said that accountability is key. And Broward County had the opportunity to do the right thing on their own on this case, which in my opinion has national importance for every teacher and every child in every school from coast to coast in the United States of America. Manny's already out there, so are so many of the other families doing what they can to hold Broward County's feet to the fire, and we're going to do so in a court of law since they've chosen not to approach us. I don't want to be here any more than Manny wants to be here, and nobody can take more from him than's already been taken by the people who did so wrong. Out of the hundreds of cases that I've handled in negligent security, this is probably the worst, so we're going to take it to them.
So, Christopher, you say that they're not approaching you. What has been the dialogue? What has been the atmosphere there as you bring this suit forward, and maybe what you've done prior to bringing this suit forward to try to make amends in some way?
Well, dialogue would be a nice thing. It's kind of hard to dialogue with radio silence. The county is absolutely saying that they didn't do anything wrong, and yet they want to put out sort of a PR machine at county taxpayer expense to fight these families in Tallahassee. So the mixed messaging makes it almost impossible to have any kind of a dialogue at all. That would have been a nice starting point, but that's not the reality.
Manuel, if you could sit down with any of these people from the board, have you been able to talk to anybody? What do you want them to know? What is it going to take to make you feel heard?
Are you asking me that question?
Yes, I am.
They know what I need to say. There's nothing that is going to make me feel better, by the way, and I want to be very clear with that. My son is not with me, and no money can be even close to that. So they know what I'm fighting for. That is Joaquin Oliver, and they have to understand that whatever they do, and they know what they need to do, it needs to at least get close to a situation where I can say, okay, at least you were responsible after making all those mistakes. But I don't have the patience or maybe I wouldn't be able to use the right words, and this is when you need a lawyer, so they could deal with this kind of stuff.
I understand what you're saying, but I do want to bring to light, you and your wife have formed this group called Change the Ref, R-E-F, in case anybody wants to look it up, Change the Ref, and you're pushing for stricter gun control in that regard. Have you gotten a lot of support for that in your community? What are you hoping to do through that organization?
We have received a lot of support, not only in our community, our movement is beyond Parkland. We have received a lot of support in other cities, in other states. Right now we're in New York. But yes, there's a lot of people that understand that what happened to Joaquin, my family, the Olivers, the other 16 families, and every single victim from gun violence, it just needs to stop. That's what I do as an activist. I use art to do that. But don't get me wrong, I do have a great lawyer firm making sure that the other side of this story is being fight with the same power and with the same intention of ending these issues from happening again.
Christopher, he obviously has a lot of faith in you, as you just heard there. How long do you think this process is going to be drawn out? We know that the legal system is not one that you speed through.
We're going to take it as far as it needs to go. It's my hope. We don't want to be in a courtroom having to fight to do what should have already been done. You know, all the failures at Parkland were not new revolutionary failures. People knew what to do since Columbine. And across the board, Broward County dropped the ball. Unfortunately, all that's left now is a jury. And so we're going to take it to a jury because we have no choice. God, I wish we didn't have to, but we do, so that's where we're going to be until justice is done, whenever that may be.
Manuel Oliver, Christopher Marlowe, we appreciate you both being here. And Manuel, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. I know it's still hard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.